Live coverage of tonight's race presented by the Asphalt Racing Network. Of course, in partnership with Decals Paint and Photoshop for all of your iRacing paint needs. That is your one-stop shop. And of course, Young Hitter Collectibles on Whatnot, where half of you guys weren't there today, and you missed a lot. So be sure to check us out next time for some crazy deals and diecasts. We are officially in a different time zone. Not just California. We are on the Gen 7 cars now after we had a few situations with them just a week ago. We have officially said goodbye a few weeks earlier than what we planned on. And why is that on my screen? And we are now on to the Gen 7 cars. Of course, here today at Sonoma. The Naras Cup Series will take on the 1.9-mile road course here today. It's the short rendition of the road course here. 40 miles per hour down pits, 105 for track temps today as they take their qualifying time, 74 air temps. Only 8 mile per hour winds, dry surface as always, 7 sets of tires. No fast repairs, 100% fuel limits. Drivers should not have to pit today. And, of course, 3 green, white checkers. As always, your man, the myth, the legend, the person that makes ARN tick. Tyler Jones here again for another good race here tonight. Of course, it's going to be a little difficult. It's going to be challenging for some of these drivers. Qualifying now beginning. Joseph Davis on track. So far, whispers around tracks. This is Naras' SVG for tonight. Will he be able to take on a pole position is going to be the question. 40 of Owen Lax here on the field today. Charlie Bennett in the 08 will join us tonight in the 08 Ally. Mark Randall. He is here today in the 00. Getting his qualifying time done now. Of course, we got Josh Mason still on the track getting his time done. Also got the 99 of Mark Morton with a Carl Edwards Aflac throwback. And look at that, he's even rocking the Edwards numbers too. 67 of Stephen Hollinsworth with the Peach Zin Mobile. I will not lie, those Peach Zins are good. So are the Dragonberry and the Black Cherries. Currently have the Dragonberry. The Dude Wipes Fire Popsicle of Owen Lex on the field right now. 4-car of Corey Rainey running the Bubba Space Jam. Drivers ready to go here tonight. It's looking about 12 drivers are going to be here today. Will we get more? Probably not. It is a road course after all, and a lot of drivers do not like a road course. And that's okay. Some people need to start and park. Of course, they have flown in all the way from Pennsylvania to California. Some drivers having a red-eye flight after last night. The stage is officially set. We are out with the old. We're for the first time in Naras history, we introduce a new car middle of the season. This is going to be a good race, hopefully here tonight, as it is going to be a long one for some of these guys as they're taking on an entirely new generation of car that they were probably not prepared for. Of course, they've had 2 weeks to prepare for it, so you can't say you weren't ready. Of course, J.J. Moore officially will not be returning to the number 5 for the remainder of this season. There's talks of a driver swap in-house with James Racing and Parker Motorsports, slated to put Caleb Hess in the number 5 at Martinsville. Of course, big thing, the biggest question is what can we expect from this drastic mid-season change? It's going to be a little bit difficult from some drivers to get comfortable and familiarized with this car. You know, they've been running the Gen 6 for the last 3 seasons. Notably, this season, already 14 weeks. So we were on actually week 16. There's a typo. So there's technically 15 weeks that have been driven. But we're going to have to drive on some tracks we haven't seen this year. Next week's going to be Martinsville. Then we go to Kentucky for the first time this season. New Hampshire, North Wilkesboro, Indianapolis for the Brickyard 275. And then back to Pocono in the Gen 7 cars now. Go to Darlington week 23 for the throwback week after our off week. And then, you know, Auto Club. Haven't touched that track this season either. Or Nashville for our season finale for the Neon Lights 150. And then, of course, having to then get all the way through the playoffs to get the understanding of the cars hopefully down by then, to then do something hopefully drastically not changing the outcome of some of their season. You know, drivers, it would be a sad sight to see someone knocked out of the playoffs because they weren't comfortable enough with the car. But of course, it was a change that was needed after a few weeks of just error after error after error, not on the driver's side, not on our side, but just on the side of the sim itself, having some latency issues between the cars. So this is where the move is. Now, another thing that could kind of offset this a little bit, you know, it's going to be different tires, different body style, different draft effects at some of these tracks. We'll see that when we get back to Pocono in a few weeks. You know, the drafting will be drastically different there now compared to what it was just 4 weeks ago. We went to Pocono on the 13th of June. You know, now with a new car, you have different features. You know, a wider, taller tire. You have A-post roof flaps now. That is going to give you a little bit more downforce if you spin. Might get a lot less flips or a lot less air time for these cars in general. You know, a C-post shark fin to help the car stay on the ground. And then, of course, the most notable one, which is going to change times for the entire teams when they come down to that pit stall, a single wheel lug nut now. So times are going to be drastically changed when it comes down to the pit stops. That could make or break. Could catch some people slipping. They might sleep a little bit on it, you know, not expecting to be out 2.5, 3 seconds earlier than what they were just a few weeks ago. So that's also going to be something that drivers are going to have to take into accountability. Now, of course, at the same time, the good things that are going to come from this car as well are going to be that heightened aero package. A different, you know, situation that a lot of drivers haven't experienced in Naras. A better aero package on a lot of tracks. You're going to have a good run for some, you know, who are familiar with it. Maybe not for others, of course. And you're also going to have the opportunity to just have a better ride. Now, of course, Gen 7 is going to be a little bit easier to save gas, but harder at the same time. Because normally the 40, we are seeing spin out just as he gets over the hump there. The 40 of Owen Lax, known pretty well for saving his tires. Saving his fuel. So it's going to be a, you know, because you can't turn the car off unless it's under a specific mile per hour while clutching, which would give you a little bit extra because you're not running. Oh God, Owen is just struggling. We're going to go off cam from him. So, you know, that's going to be a difference as well. You know, drivers' reactions have been mixed leading up to this event here at Sonoma. Few notable drivers had this to say. Strictly, or specifically from Owen Lax, he said, and I quote, "It's a big shock, but getting the final win of the Gen 6 car is really awesome, especially to break the single season win record in that last race." He said the Gen 7 is going to be difficult and a big shock. He thinks to everybody. So right now the focus is to learn this car and have a strong run into the playoff season. We also heard from Mark Morton. Morton said he liked the idea. He was behind the idea 1,000% when we first announced it. He said it was a smart idea. Morton also said with the switch from the Gen 6 to 7, it'll be interesting to see who can adapt the quickest and learn the track with the car and how it handles. You know, to see how far the car can be pushed at each track and each corner. And of course, whoever can find the secret sauce the quickest should be the victor. Now we're Also seeing a lot of drivers have struggles with these cars right now. We've seen Lax spin out. We've seen Pena spin out. How many more times will we see it tonight? Of course, sector cautions. If someone spins, that means if it's less than 2 cars, there will not be a caution. If it's a track blocker in the middle of a hairpin turn or a blind corner, there will be an immediate caution thrown. So it's going to take the time. Of course, the first time at Sonoma, who came to tame the twisty and windy hills of wine country in our first of 2 stops in California. Parker Motorsports right now not going anywhere, but not in the way you think. Jordan Fisher has came out and said they will be staying, but in the truck series for the time being, as he announced the return of the team full-time to the Fisher Studios Truck Series for 2027, bringing on a brand new development driver. Of course, more driver reactions as well. Jordan Fisher said he's had more confidence in this car than any other car he's driven. You know, he says it's breathing new life, not only into Parker Motorsports, but in the 9 group as well. He says he has a really great shot for the remainder of the season, and it just makes him more pumped for 2027. And of course, hearing from our reigning and defending season champion, the 4-car of Corey Rainey for RVR, he said it's about time. Gen 6 cars are too easy to drive and pretty much full throttle. The 7th gen is going to separate the contenders from the pretenders. Different throttle response, different braking. It's going to be fun seeing who can adjust. And of course, what a way to spice up the battle for the championship. Rainey says it reminds him of the 07 season, where there were 2 different cars ran throughout that season. Of course, in warm-ups now, about 4 minutes into warm-ups. Throw up the tower. You can see who has the fastest time right now in warm-ups. Oh, God. Tower is looking a little weird. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. I had to update it. Only a few drivers have set times right now. Those are their times you're looking at. You should know, Caleb, it's a road course. Not many people ever show up for these. Of course, before we start the race here tonight, as always, they're going to grid. We are going to listen to our national anthem before we talk about our qualifying grid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet
looking at your qualifying grid for tonight on the pole, you're going to have the 22 of Joseph Davis and Owen Lax in row 1. Row 2 is going to be Stephen Hollinsworth and Mark Morton. Rounding out your top 5 is going to be Tristan Pena in row 3 and Joshua Mason just outside in 6th. Row 4, Corey Rainey and Jordan Fisher. Row 5, Charlie Bennett and Mark Randall. In row 6, we're going to have DJ Vincent and Peter Hoppy. Row 7, rounding out the field, the 28 of Kyle Sims. Drivers ready to go when the pace car starts rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, first official race of the Gen 7 cars is now here. Pace car officially rolling now. This is where it's about to either get real good or real tough for a lot of people for the rest of the season. Of course, 18, and 35, or 34, are going to be your stages here for tonight. 70 laps long. Once again, looking at the weather now that qualifying is over. It is going to be 103 for the track temps before they even go green. So that's also going to be a challenging one. We've already seen Lax spin out in warm-ups. We've seen Pena spin out in warm-ups. I heard a little bit of a few other drivers that were spinning out in warm-ups as well. So it's going to be difficult for a lot of drivers tonight. Of course, your race rules: 7 additional sets of tires plus 1. No fast repair, so if you have too much damage, you are to the garage and you're going on home, or I guess staying in California until next week. So enjoy it while you can, or not really, because you're going to Martinsville. So get out of town, go home. 3 green, white checkers before we hit a finale. Under white flag, 100% fuel limits. It's about 40 laps of fuel for the run, so I don't really see much pitting happening here tonight. Of course, if you're just joining in, welcome back for another week. If you haven't been here before, this is the Asphalt Racing Network for the Naras Cup Series, where it is all racing all the time. We are now just getting ready. We've got cam SETI for you tonight. TV cams ready to go. Wall cams, static cams. We've got a mix of it. We've got the ARN blimp cam in the sky. We have the chopper here tonight as well. Cockpit views for drivers ready to go. Looking at Joseph Davis, your pole sitter. Owen Lax on the outside, trying to get good as they go to the horseshoe. We are moments away from a green flag, if it is just one pace lap. Of course, progress bar on the top left. If you're not new here, you can follow along to see how many laps are green, how many laps are paced, and we will not be going green this time. Most likely next time by. Pace lights, I believe, are still on. Drivers trying to warm up those tires. That might be a smart thing. It's a way to get familiar with the track. It'll be a little bit easier to get with the track that way. You don't have to worry about possibly screwing up on your restart. You kind of get those tires scrubbed in just a little bit, not too much where you're gonna. But this should be a really good race here today. Of course, looking at points entering Sonoma on the cut line, the 4 drivers just above that cut line right now. Jeffrey Bourne plus 51. Mark Randall also tied for that spot, plus 51. Kyle Sims plus 42, and Peter Hoppy, the last one on the top 4 on that cut line at plus 18. Under that cut line is going to be Brandon Carroll back by 18. Joshua Hahn back by 36. Kenneth Colson back by 80. And Jordan Naughton back by 82. Of course, the cut line is shrinking and growing with each race that comes and goes. The drive for the playoffs is now officially here. If you're joining us, whether that be on Twitch or YouTube, before we go green, of course, thank you guys for tuning in. It means a lot to the drivers. It means a lot to us. Me and Jordan included in there. It's not just us that does this on a weekly basis. It's the drivers. They take more time than I do getting ready for broadcast, doing graphics, and figuring out what ways we can innovate what we produce for you folks. These drivers tirelessly practice on a weekly basis, hours on end, every single day to try to get this car in victory lane. You, the fans, are what makes them go around in circles. So, of course, on behalf of everybody for Naras and ARN, thank you for tuning in here live or as a replay. Now going back to the horseshoe for the second time. Will the pace car be in? Pace car is in. Drivers will take turn 11 and go to a green flag for the first green flag start here in the next gen cars. Joseph Davis, your pole sitter, waiting for the green flag from the flag man. As they get to that Echo Park restart zone, it is about to be a nail biter. Green flag officially out now. First one of the Gen 6 run. Here we go. Pole sitter Joseph Davis already in the sand trap. Pena to the lead. Lax not too far behind. Pack's already getting spread out a little bit here. Watching drivers go through that hairpin. Charlie Bennett in the back trying to stay away from it. Probably a smart idea here. Right now, Tristan Pena going through these S's. Your current leader, Owen Lax, not too far behind right now. Will Lax make a run for that lead? Will he stay hanging around, just waiting for Pena to make that move that could throw him all the way off pace? More than likely. Pena having some really clean corners right now. He's got about a 0.6 second lead over the 40 Lax in second place. Uh-oh. Joseph Davis back there. Mark Morton off in the sand now. He's going to go from grass to sand pretty quick here tonight. He's just lost about 3 positions from where he started. Regained the field. No damage to him. Off the track again. Not looking too hot for Mark Morton right now. Mark Randall as well involved in a crash. Joshua Mason with a spin out on track, having to burn some tires to get back going. Not a track blocker, no caution out this time. Let's go back and see exactly what happened to Randall and Mason. Following the 00 Columbia, Mark Randall right now. Hollinsworth passing on the outside. Randall probably trying to take that corner just a little bit too hot. Locked up his brakes, got off the track. Looking at Josh Mason. Charlie Bennett just currently spun himself around as well. Vincent off track too. It is a tough night for a lot of drivers. Mason overshot his exit. That's where we regained with him trying to burn it around. Charlie Bennett also having issues in the same corner Mason did. Oh, well, no, he actually made it through that corner, so it'll be the next corner probably as Bennett probably had issues not wanting to hit Mason, so he slowed down a little bit. And then, of course, we had DJ Vincent go off track and come back on. Beautiful rush truck recreation, Noah Gregson. Made by yours truly. Vincent right now currently sitting in 6th place, not too far back. Tristan Pena still currently in the lead. Owen Lax now down to about 0.3 of a second. That gap has closed overall. Owen going to shoot for the inside. You saw that right rear brake lock up. Both of them smoked the brakes a little bit of that right rear. Pena trying to keep that lead. Lax trying to show Pena, I am here. I am ready to race, and I'm ready to take this win here tonight. Corey Rainey up 4 positions already. He is in 3rd. Show the gaps. Oh! A little bit of a loose go there. Mark Morton around again. Unless he just locked up his brakes to not spin, go back and look. It's going to be hard to catch a lot of this as it's happening, so we're going to have to be showing replays a lot here tonight. There's Morton drift in Tokyo style in California. It's going to be a tough night. Exactly, Caleb. This is what happens when you have a league full of oval racers. Charlie Bennett with a little off-track error there. Trying to keep it green and clean. It's going to be tough for these drivers, I'm telling you. It's going to be very difficult for these drivers here tonight. Of course, looking at some of them. Owen Lax now takes over Pena for the lead. Now it's going to be Pena trying to hawk down Lax. We already know how that's going to work. It's going to be a little difficult to start off with. He most likely will be able to make up some time. But we have to wonder when. We have 14 to go now in the stage for stage number 1. Going through the field here, now following Joshua Mason. He is down 3 positions, currently sitting in 9th. Driving for Parker Motorsports this season. Hasn't had a standalone season. Probably not the best performance of his this season. Of course, regular full-time driver. Not locked into the playoffs. Currently sitting 7th position on points, 466 points total with 9 starts this year. No win under the belt so far. He's 170 points behind the leader. Your current points leader is going to be Owen Lax. You're now current leader of the race. Driving for Bowl Motorsports this season. Still undetermined if Lax will have a ride next season, or if he will be returning to the Cup season, or if he's going to the trucks full time. Of course, right now he's only led 2 laps of this race so far, but he's doing pretty good with the traffic he has behind him being Pena. I mean, looking at the gaps, there's already a 1.3 second gap to our pole sitter of the night, Joseph Davis, to our leader. He started in 1st. He's now in 3rd. He's lost 2 positions. You got other guys like Peter Hoppy sitting in 6th. He's up 6th. You know, Naras' very own Peter Hoppy driving a Monster Energy. Driving in Maine. Hoppy will be confirmed. Has been announced to go drive for Jones Randall Motorsports next season. He will be switching that Chevy out for a Toyota. Driving for Steel City Racing's affiliate team. DJ Vincent, your part-time driver. He is here today. He said, screw it. Let me go road course race. Didn't have a paint using the Gregson I made for him the other day. Sitting in 7th right now. Did not qualify. He's already up 4 positions from where he started. Doing pretty good so far. Mason on the inside. Mason jumps the rumble strips there. DJ using all of that room to try to stay away. Now you got Mark Morton behind as well, having to take a wide turn there to get that corner to hit Mason. DJ letting Mason and Morton by. He doesn't want to affect their race. Also doesn't want to affect his either. So now he will be down in 9th. Still 2 positions up from where he started. Back to the leaders. You've got Owen Lax, Tristan Pena still 1 and 2 right now. Trying everything in their capability to run away with this race. Joseph Davis kind of closing in. He's now just about 1.1 seconds back. Not too far away, but still not the closest with 11 to go. As they're passing the old entrance into the infield, where NASCAR used to take it. And then come out right where they're passing now. Crazy hairpin right turn it used to be. Shook up a lot of things going into the S's. Now with the short configuration, I feel like it's a little bit of a faster run. Almost the same lap times. But maybe 2 seconds shorter because of that hairpin. Pena all the way off in the dirt there. Regained his car. A lot of off tracks for these guys tonight so far. Pena having 8 off-track events. Lax having 4. Davis now making a move on the inside of Pena. He's in there. He's clear. Davis will now move up to 2nd place. 11 laps to go. This fight for 2nd is going to give Owen the lead he wants. It's going to make it easier for him to pull away from these 2 drivers. Pena using a little bit of the rumble strips there, trying to keep his position, trying to stay aggressive but clean at the same time. You don't want to pinch too hard. You don't want to overdrive the corners because that's going to cause you to screw up and give more time than what you expected or what you possibly wanted. But he will lose a little bit of time there. Now he's going to be about 0.7 back, from Davis. Not too far. We're now currently almost 2 seconds back from where he just was a few laps ago, right behind Owen Lax. These top 3 are spread out pretty far. Now looking to 4th place. Stephen Hollinsworth kind of by himself. Now just entering the S's. He is 12.5 seconds behind the 40 of Lax. 10 to go in stage number 1. Corey Rainey not too far behind him, fighting for that top 5 position to hold it down. 6 seconds behind him is going to be Peter Hoppy, who's now just getting through the S's himself. Josh Mason in 7th, with Mark Morton not too far behind in 8th. DJ Vinson just getting through the S's himself back there in 9th. And, of course, rounding out your top 10 is going to be Kyle Sims right now. Mark Randall not too far behind the 10th place sitter. The 28 is Sims. Probably not where he wants to be either. He's sitting pretty good on the cut line, but now with Hoppy in front of him by multiple positions, if this is where Randall will be able to finish for the rest of the race, is going to allow Hoppy to gain a lot more of a points advantage after this race. Of course, Jordan Fisher, the 9 car, not too far behind. You see he's got some front end damage. We're going to go back and see. There's a few off-track events he's had. We're going to see if that is one of the ones that led to his front end damage. You see it's clean here, so it's probably this one. That was one off track. DJ passed him, and I believe Mason passed him after the fact. They got out of the horseshoe. And, of course, Fisher also had another off-track not too long after that in the hairpins where he spun out. There's his nose dive into the pit wall, which put him in the back of the pack, obviously suffering some aero damage now. 48 seconds off pace. Slated to go a lap down at some point in time, trying to run out the rest of these 8 laps so he doesn't have to go a lap down or If he will, he'll be the first one to get a lap back. Kyle Sims with an off-track event. Owen Lax with an off-track event. Top three really in spitting distance now. How the turns have tabled. Joseph Davis, Owen Lax, and Tristan Pena 1, 2, and 3 right now. Fighting for that spot. Tristan wants to try to get the advantage. Doesn't want to sit in tandem here. 8 laps to go. You want to be the man to win the stage. You just got to be patient to do it. Davis falling off a little bit. Hollinsworth almost losing it back there. Davis falling off a little bit. Same with Tristan. I think they're trying to leave a little bit of space going into this horseshoe to see what line they're going to take and how much speed difference you're going to be able to carry. All drivers really slowing down. Pena having a really good corner there, as well as Lax. Lax is going to gain time on Davis. Pena's going to pull some time down on Davis. Not enough, though. They're going to be spread out, going uphill here for turn number 1 and 2. So far, so good. Seems like the scuffed up tires are actually able to hold that uphill turn a lot better than what it used to just a few laps ago. About 7 laps ago when they started, Jordan Fisher reported it with another incident on track. This time there was another wreck. That aero damage, rumble strips not getting along for him tonight. Spins out on track. Thankfully, no one else around. He decided to tow the car to pits. Either going to be retiring the rest of his night, or he will be trying to get as much of that damage off, not mattering how many laps down he goes. Right now, Fisher sitting, let's see, 5th in points. 490 points with 11 starts, 143 back from your current leader, Owen Lax, who has a whopping 652 with 3 wins. Corey Rainey in 2nd place, 85 back from Lax with no wins. JJ Moore in 3rd. He was a locked-in driver, but now there's another spot open with him not returning for the rest of the season. So now the drivers will move up in due time. Charlie Bennett will take over the 3rd place spot after tonight. Jordan Parker will take over the 4th place spot. In a few weeks, we will see more and more changes. With JJ not being here, he will drop down drastically, of course, giving a new life to someone to be able to join the regular season in a top 10 spot. And, of course, now onto a championship run in the playoffs. Tristan was in a wreck here in the horseshoe. Unless you just counted him braking so hard. A little bit of a wall scrub. And the spin out. So thankfully nobody around him. He was able to get back up on and going before Hollinsworth caught him. So it didn't hurt him too bad on time. When it comes to the rest of the field, he is now 8.7 back from your leader. It's now Lax and Davis. 6 to go. Will Davis find what he needs to possibly get this win for the stage? Or will it be a Lax victory for stage number 1? Going to go ahead and just scroll through some of the field right now. Josh Mason in 7th. Looking at the battle for your lead still here today. Kyle Sims reported in an accident. Rumble strips to a spin out, most likely. We've seen it a lot tonight, especially in the horseshoe. No, just overshot his corner and couldn't get it going. Couldn't get that rotation he expected. Slammed on his brakes. It's what caused the quote-unquote crash to be reported. He's still running in 11th right now. Mark Randall still in 10th. Way off track for Sims as we go back live. Just barely missed the tire wall there. Could have killed the rest of his night. kind of already hurting. Car will not turn for him. Go to the cockpit view and see how he's handling his S's. Tires could be shot for him, 4 to go. You're really not seeing him on throttle much. Kind of waving it through, 3rd gear there, not really wanting to go too fast. You can hit 5th gear in this corner and apex it out to that outside rumble strip, not choosing to. So it could be a situation with some aero damage, could be a situation with some tires. You know, car just might be getting loose with the track temps right now. A lot of factors can be playing into why Sims is having so much difficulty right now on the track. Of course, in 11th right now, he's 55 seconds behind the leaders. It's 1:15 for the best times. He's about 1:17 now. So, of course, you know, still could have the opportunity to stay on lead lap. If he goes a lap down, he'll be the first one to get his lap back. Charlie Bennett officially out for the night. Jordan Fisher still in pits, most likely taking over race control unless he is still getting damage off. Sims 55 seconds back, the first person to go a lap down. We've already lost 2 drivers at this point in time. 1 confirmed, 1 unconfirmed for the rest of the night. Now, you saw Davis there not too long ago. Bount had a good inside edge. Okay, so it is confirmed as of 5 minutes ago, the number 9 is going to be out. He will assume the position up in the tower for the rest of the night, not only for the team, well, excuse me, the pit box for the team for the rest of the night. 3 laps to go. This is the fight we're all waiting for. Position 1 and 2 on the grid have flipped. 2 is in first, and first is in second. Now they're trying to fight for the regular. I'm not talking about another regular seat championship. They're trying to fight for the stage win here. 2 laps to go. That time past the line. It's getting good. It's getting tough. Pena back there. He's made up about 2 seconds. About 1.8 seconds. Still has a lot to go. He's not going to be able to catch up to them within these last 2 laps, but he still will be scored in 3rd. Uh-oh, you're seeing it. Davis with a crazy drive. Overdrove that corner just a little bit to get his nose in there. Does it successfully. No contact for either drivers. 22 of Davis now back to the lead. Two laps to go. What an insane move. Knew we were going to see it at some point in time, just didn't know when. Now will Lax return the favor? He thought about it, didn't want to overdrive the corner and hit that driver door. Cost him more damage than he would Davis. Lax still spins out. That's not going to be good for him. Tristan Pena is going to be able to make up some time. Lax recovers it, almost spins out again. Here comes Tristan at full speed. He knows he spun out in front of him. He will be able to pass Lax, most likely to gain second. Lax got the control back. Now 5.6 seconds behind the 22 of Davis, who is now currently your leader. You see Lax being a little bit more precautious here in these corners now, knowing that those tires are worn. Remember, gas not going to be a problem for stage 1. They probably don't even have to take much gas for stage 2. If they don't want to fill up the tanks, give them a faster stop. Will Tristan pass Lax for the spot? He's going to the inside. He almost got loose there. Decided not to do it. Joseph Davis, 6 seconds in front. Already through the S's. Just a few more turns for the part-time driver in the 22. And he'll be able to claim a stage victory. Tristan losing a little bit of time to Lax there. Davis officially crossed the line for your Stage 1 victory. Lax will be in second, Pena in third. Hollinsworth scored in fourth. Corey Ramey scored in fifth. Rounding out your top five. In sixth place, you're going to have Joshua Mason. Seventh is going to be Mark Randall. Mark Morton. Eighth is going to be Peter Hoppy. Ninth place, the part-time driver of DJ Vincent and teammate 00. Mark Randall rounding out the top 10. As soon as Randall crosses the line, the stage caution will be thrown. Caution officially out for the stage break. A clean stage number 1 for these drivers. Of course, another 18 laps for stage number 2, and then we will get to the nitty-gritty stage 3, where we will decide the winner here tonight. Of course, this is the Gen 7's first run, and it has been a good one so far. A lot of action, even on a road course where it gets spread out. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let these drivers go into pits, get their damage off, get new tires on the cars, get some gas, and we'll be back after a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere other than the bathroom and to get some more snacks. We'll be right back.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
has that still 4 wide on the run down in the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh my
and to the
goodness!
line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Got a great car, great team. Let's go execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight till the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The afterchecks are lit. Count out anybody who wants it the most.
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance. They know, baby. Let's go. Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta hurry this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table. A total 500.
Oh, say,
I don't know why that started playing again. That's not what we're listening to. We've already done the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here for stage number 2. Joseph Davis getting the win. Lax finishing in second. Pena in third. Hollinsworth in fourth. Corey Rainey rounding out your top 5. Mark Randall in the back rounding out your top 10. We are getting ready to go green. This time by the line. And we have a little special guest for the rest of the night. You just saw him on the track. He is a part-time driver this season for RVR. The number 10, DJ Vincent, will be joining us for the rest of the night.
How's it going, everybody? Figured I'd come up here and enjoy the sights and sounds with Tyler up here in the booth. I'm just a part-time driver. I figured I'd come out and run some laps with guys and sit here and enjoy the rest of it.
Notably pulling a Marshawn Lynch saying, I'm just here so I don't get fined, even though he doesn't get fined for not being here. So, I mean, you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good, man. You started in the back of the pack, not qualified. You know, you made up about 4 positions. Then, you know, you let Josh Mason and Morton pass you, and then we're just kind of sitting comfortably in 10th. So, I mean, I would still say it was a pretty good stage 1 for you. Better than a few other drivers.
Knowing I wasn't going to finish the full race, just get some laps in. I wasn't going to hold any of the guys up. I was going to let them go once they got to me. So I didn't want to, you know, conflict their races and, you know, try to take anything from them. So I just let them go.
Now here, we're going to have a repeat of our initial restart of the race. Davis is going to be your control car this time, not on the flag man, but on his command. And, of course, we're going to have the 40 of Owen Lax on the outside. Pena and Rainey now, 3rd and 4th. Pena up 2 positions. Rainey up 3. Hollinsworth down 2, rounding out your top 5. Mark Morton up to 6 now. He'll be down 2 positions. Josh Mason down 1 in 7th. And as the pace car comes off, we hit the horseshoe, getting to turn 11. We'll be green this time in the restart zone. Here we go. 22 of Joseph Davis in the restart zone takes us back to green flag. 14 laps to go for stage number 2. Going to go to the blimp cam because it's going to get a little dicey here. We have a huge wreck in the back that looks like Mark Randall and Kyle Sims. No, that is Mark Morton. Mark squared in an incident. Morton, I believe, is going to be out. He is way behind the fence. If not, he might be stuck and we'll have to tow it. He is stuck and is going to have to tow it. Tire off the ground. Right behind the camera. That is not a good situation there. We're going to go back and watch this replay as he still tries to get it out. Good God. Who caused what? Oh, God. It looked like Mark's wheel just snapped loose. He just snaps to the left, overcorrects it into the left rear quarter panel of the 99 of Morton.
Looks like the 99 or the 88 tried to check
Oh,
up
that
here.
wasn't the 00. That was Mason.
Yeah, that's the 88. Yeah, Mason looked like he tried to get on the brakes a little too hard and got squirrely and got into the side of the 99 of Morton.
Not going to lie, from a faraway standpoint, that actually looked like the 00 because the 88. Of course, that definitely hurt Morton more than Mason. I mean, Mason's going to have some front-end damage, but Morton being the stuck car on the field, we're going to watch him get stuck right here as he just went all the way up the grass. The bumpiest part of the terrain. He could have stopped there, but he kept rolling. He kept rolling. He kept rolling. And that's where he gets stuck. So
and we also have
unfortunately for him,
the 4 car of Corey Rainey has decided to park the car. He has disconnected.
that is tough. Corey Rainey went off track. We're going to go to that while they're still alive. Corey Rainey went off track here, got lit up by the rumble strips, took front end damage, and right into the tire barriers. You heard it, the motor blew up, got the car towed off. 2 cars back to back into pits. Now Morton having to serve that tow time before he could even get back out, while also having to take damage off, and it's going to hurt him a few laps here. Now, Joseph Davis currently in the lead. 12 laps to go. Hollinsworth in second. Pena in third. Lax all the way down to 4th place now. You got to kind of wonder what happened.
Yeah, pretty comfortable lead right now for Joseph. Stephen Hollinsworth trying to catch up to him here. Looks like almost him coming out of that corner as he's going in.
Davis has been doing pretty good on his corners. Right now, he has to worry about Hollinsworth because Hollinsworth just set the fastest track time so far here tonight in Sonoma. 22 at Davis almost got loose on the rumble strips. Hollinsworth hitting a 1:14.88. Few thousandths faster than the rest of the field, but the question is, how long will he be able to hold that speed? Right now, I forgot to turn on the action alerts on the tower, so now we get to see all the off tracks for the rest of the drivers. You're going to see a lot of them pop up here and there. Might end up turning them off because there it is again. Mark Morton back out on the track and right off track again. So it's going to be tough. Tristan Pena in a wreck there is what I just got told. So we're going to actually go see what happened to Pena. Might have just hit his brakes too hard. It normally does that. I'll tell you there's a wreck. Hits the inside wall in the horseshoe and spun out. That is the second time he has done that in about the same area of the track. Literally does a burnout and keeps it rolling. So credit to him.
Looks like he just got on the gas a little too early after he hit that barrier on the inside and clipped that rumble strip. Got a little loose there.
That's most likely the option. That's most likely the situation. Jesus. Appreciate it, Jordan. 500, 600 bits in total, brother. Thank you. We definitely appreciate it. Mark Morton also involved in a wreck there as well. Not looking too good. For the man himself, the 99. The hairpin. Whips around in the hairpin. Does the same thing as Pena. Kind of burns it to keep it rolling. Tough. Tough night for the drivers. You know, I think the falsehood of what's it called? I think the falsehood of, or shall I say correctly, the safety net of stage 1 is kind of making these drivers feel like they're a little bit more eager now where they thought they were comfortable before, they're getting a little bit too aggressive now in corners, and it might be causing these incidents to keep coming out now.
Yeah, Joseph out to about a 3-second lead right now over Hollinsworth.
Mark Morton slated with another spin out on track. He has whipped it all the way off the track, decided to park it there and tow the car to pits. So Morton probably already done and retired for the night. 99 suffering just a little bit. Damn, Jordan going crazy. Appreciate the 2 gifted subs, man. You are right, though. 9 to go. Davis is on wheels right now. Hollinsworth, 3 seconds back. I don't think he'll be able to catch him. We're literally watching the SVG of Naras right now. Jordan, has someone hacked your card? Fisher Studios with another 600 bits. What is happening right now? Okay, I was just making sure, dude, because I was going to say, like, I'm gonna turn bits off because I'm just racking them up on your card right now. Mark Randall with another off track. That is Mark Morton. Oh, God, I'm clicking the wrong names. Been doing this for a year. Actually, Jordan, I think today might be my 1-year anniversary with Naras. If I'm not mistaken. I think today officially makes a year since I've signed the contract. We're going to have to look. Right now, I mean, Davis, dude, he is literally running away with this race right now in the Gen 7s. Of course, we expected the first race out to not be the strongest, but we didn't expect someone to pull away this hard with it. Well, Jordan is about to fact check if it's been a year for me or not. Might as well change the name of this race to the Joseph Davis Show. Yes, it is. It is the year. I'm looking at it right now. 7-2 was when I was told I was needed in the booth. I could be wrong. We're going to wait for him to sign off on that. July 26th will be 1 year of me officially taking over fully. And, of course, the 26th is a Sunday. So we will celebrate that on that Saturday's race. That being Kentucky. The Kentucky Derby. Awesome. Good old Jeremy
Now,
Mayfield
my
throwing that
question
off.
is for you. Do you feel seasoned?
At this point, 5 nights a week, now down to 4. The first year was absolutely ridiculous. I feel overly seasoned. I feel like I was left on the smoker for 48 hours.
Well, you do an amazing job up here in the booth. I enjoy watching you and listening in every week.
Well, I appreciate it. Hey, Jordan, we need to move Auto Club up. Moving up to the 25th. Joseph Davis, man, 5.43 seconds away from Hollinsworth. These guys are still hitting off tracks left and right. Lax in third. There's 5 laps to go. Davis has practically led this entire. It is really him for stage 2. Kind of what Caleb was saying in the chat, how he felt like it was going to be the night where we saw Davis kind of just sweep the race. And I think Caleb might be right. Like you said, at least he'll be able to watch a 22 win since Logano doesn't win anymore. The closest you're going to get to it here today. So, 8 drivers. 2 with blown engines, 1 in the booth. Morton not having a good night, so he's retired. And it is literally the Joseph Davis show.
Will say I had a lot of fun out there at the amount of laps I ran. These cars do feel really different than what we were running before, but they do handle pretty well here at Sonoma, I will say.
No, and that's the thing about these cars. They're such an all-around package. Some areas they have really good strengths. Some areas they have a lot of weaknesses. Their damage is their weakness. They take damage very easily. I'm now being an A-class officially myself, racing these cars on a daily basis. Have I raced Sonoma yet? Absolutely not. Will I ever? Probably. But, the road courses, they're a little bit more difficult. Once you get air under that side skirt, where they're really meant to be down at the ground, it literally just becomes a paper airplane. But they handle so well. What's up, Big Mats?
Yeah, we'll say the only downfall to these cars that I felt when I was in it was the heavy braking under the speed. It did get a little squirrely, especially going into the hairpin. And It felt like the back end would skate around a little bit. I had to fight the wheel a few times when I was slowing down.
That's the thing about the rears. The fronts handle so well, and on the fixed setups, you'll really see that difference. The front handles so well, but it's like the rear just needs a little bit more dialing in, and it's also kind of because of it's more designed around the GT3s, so it's supposed to be, a little bit more road coursey, but I feel like at sometimes it's just way too loose. That front
I think
left tire showing a lot of fire.
Yeah, I think with the amount of weight that is up in the front of these cars with the motor and hitting the brakes, it gets really light in the back end. So when you're coming into those corners and you're hitting the brakes hard, any certain movement wants to upset that back end, which I was fighting really, really bad when I was out there.
Now, oh God, just dropped a phone on my toe. Doesn't feel good. looking here, Davis, I think, has had the most practice on the field. We're going to have to ask him that if we do get a win from him. We are going to have to ask him how much time he's practiced here, because he is literally on point. Now, Hollinsworth, he seemed pretty good. He had the best time of 1:14, still the fastest time on the field right now with newer tires, but that could also be showing he's pulling too much speed early on that fresh set, and it's kind of causing him to wear him down a little bit more earlier, which is giving him this lackluster back half of the stage. I mean, as soon as Davis passed the line, we have one to go. He is literally 8.8 seconds back. He's losing a little bit of time here as Davis goes into the hairpin or the horseshoe to take that last lap, the green-white checkered, just one more lap. But at the same point in time, you've also got to wonder, how is stage 3 going to go? Are people going to officially adjust to Davis's run here? Is there going to be any way to adjust to Davis's run here, or are we just kind of going to see another 8-second blowout? Now, there it is. Joseph Davis. Another stage under the belt. Pace car is going to be out. Hollinsworth's going to be in second. Lags going to be scored in third. We're going to have Pena in fourth. Peter Hoppy finishing in fifth. Mason in sixth. Mark Randall in seventh. Kyle Sims in eighth. Morton will be scored in ninth as he is not on the field. And Rainey will round out that top 10. Now, of course, another stage in the books, ladies and gentlemen. That means we have one more stage left. Will we see a return of dominance for the 22 of Joseph Davis? Or will we see another car fight a losing battle on tires and where to be able to take the win? We'll be able to tell you in just a few more minutes when the Naras Cup Series comes back for the first race, the Gen 7 cars. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just 4 minutes. So unless it's a bathroom break, don't go anywhere, folks.
Experience the world's most legendary racing events with iRacing. iRacing special events allow any member to compete in full-length multiplayer races based on some of the biggest events in motorsports all year round. Compete in virtual endurance races, such as the Daytona 24, Spa 24, and the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Take on some of the toughest races on the NASCAR schedule, such as the Daytona 500. We have events from disciplines all across the racing world. from the Indianapolis 500 to the Chili Bowl, from the Bathurst 1000 to the Crandon Championship. Our endurance special events utilize iRacing's team feature, where members can sign up and race together on their own team, swapping drivers throughout the race. Other events utilize iRacing Super Sessions, where you're not only racing against those on track, but against every driver taking part. And as every race progresses, watch and feel the track change with progressive time of day, dynamic weather and rain, and dynamic track debris and surface changes. Take on your favorite discipline or try a brand new racing challenge with our biggest races of the year, the iRacing Special Events. Learn more at iracing.com/special-events.
We are getting ready to go back green. And we broke the fourth wall. That sucks. Joseph Davis comes out of pits in the lead. So he will be able to be the control car once again. Starting with Wax on the inside. Hollinsworth will be in third. Pena will be in third. Hollinsworth in fourth. I could have that backwards. I think I do. Hoppy in fifth. Mason in sixth. You're going to have Sims and Randall rounding out your top 8 drivers that are still racing right now. We are just waiting for this pace car to get around here today. Get back in that pits before we go green. It has been a hell of a race so far, shall I say. I didn't expect a dominant run from Joseph Davis coming from the second half on. I talked to Lack for a little bit before he jumped in. Saw him on the track, jumped around, and he said, I don't know what's going on, but I think this is going to be Davis' race, and by God, he wasn't lying. Now all patiently waiting. Here we go, back to green flag. Lack's already out. to a really good side lead there on the bottom side, and it's getting dicey in the back. Stephen Hollingsworth is going to be around already. No caution, just a one car in the grass. He will be way off pace, so that goes to answer the question already that he will not have what it takes to keep up with Davis. Davis falling all the way down to 7th place now. Davis had a little bit of a situation off track. We're going to go back and watch that right now as he took that first left-hand turn, hit the rumble strips and spun out, giving Lax the lead, got passed by 6 other drivers, and is now sitting in 7th place, having to redo it all over again if he can. Now, of course, there's 34 laps here for stage number 3. There's a lot of time for them to make back up. The thing about it is they're not going to need gas in these 40 laps, or 34 laps. They got about 40 in the tank. With the port, going to waste a lot of gas because of how much you're having to check up and coast the corner. So it's most likely just going to be a tire stop here if they do, which is still going to be about a 13.5 to 14.2. So, I mean, we're still going to see possibly a fresh tire stop, but that's also going to screw things up too, because I feel like a lot of these guys are going to get loose after the fact. Lax now doing really good. About the same we saw him earlier when he had the lead. He was holding it pretty good, pretty consistently, pretty strong. Still has a lot of time to go left in the race, though, so we can't say he's comfortable for the rest. He's good right now, which is still a good place to be. I'd rather be comfortable right now than to be screwed and be fighting for the position back. So, you know, right now he's holding his own, but, you know, there's still a lot of time left. Of course, Pena gets around him right there, so now Pena's going to have the lead. Davis just set the fastest time, so that's going to be confusing to see how much he'll be able to catch back up. I mean, he's in 5th now. He's already gained 2 spots back from when he wrecked out. So, I mean, he's already up a little bit. Still has a lot of bit to go. But, I mean, looking right now, I mean, it's still anybody's game. We've seen Tristan hold this lead pretty strong. But we've also seen him spin out in the rumble strips in the horseshoe. So, really can't say for certain if Pena's going to be able to wheel man the rest of this race in the lead, or what the tire situation for him is going to be like if he's going to be able to finish this race out entirely. You know, there's a lot of unanswered questions that are just going to have to be answered with time. Now, very possible we could see him get a first road course win here this season at Sonoma. Very possible we see Owen Lax go 2 for 2 at road courses, take the Watkins Glen one off a technicality, and then get the Sonoma win as well. We could also see Davis come back from the depths of the top 5 position, 7 seconds away right now from the current leader, with a pit cycle and run the rest of his race clean and green and get his own win here tonight. You know, there's so many opportunities for drivers that can do something. The question is, who is going to be the one to do it? Tristan Pena holding the fort down in the lead right now. Now about a second back is going to be the 40 of Lax. Josh Mason up 3 positions in third. He's actually doing pretty good. Peter Hoppy up 8 positions now in 4th place, 5.5 seconds back from the leaders. Check on the back of the field, Kyle Sims at 28. He was having some difficulties earlier. He's kind of figured it out now. Not, I wouldn't say all the way. Still in the back. He's running pretty good in the areas he was spinning out in earlier, so that's always a good sign. Still has a lot to go. As he almost spins out. Let me not give him the commentator's curse. 00 Mark Randall up to 7th place now. Mark doing a pretty strong, having a pretty strong race here tonight. A lot of drivers were not confident in their abilities here at Sonoma, especially with the practice earlier and the warm-ups. Just for a lot of drivers, didn't seem like it was going to be something they were going to be able to conquer tonight. You know, to be one of the 8 drivers that is still racing right now is an achievement. I mean, at this point in time, some are still fighting for that win, but others are just fighting for that top 10 spot. And, you know, for a few drivers, it does mean a lot tonight. Mark Randall is in a good spot when it comes down to the points bracket right now. He's 51 plus the cut line. Jeffrey Bourne as well. Jeffrey's going to lose some time here, but he is dealing with an injury to the hand. I think he has 2 breaks and 2 fractures, 2 in his wrist, 2 in his hand. So that's kind of been hurting his attendance here. Kyle Sims, he's plus 42. He's in 8th right now. Peter Hoppy, he is only plus 18, but he is in 5th, so he's going to gain some spots tonight. Brennan Carroll is back 18. He is not here, so he's going to gain a lot of spots on Carroll. Then, of course, you have Joshua Hahn, who didn't make an appearance here tonight. He's going to lose more spots as he's 36 back under the line. Kenneth Colson, not here as well. 80 points back. And then, of course, Jordan Naughton, 82. So, I mean, for those 2 drivers right now, it's kind of going to be unachievable to get back up to that cut line without getting multiple wins for the rest of the season. And it's not impossible. It's not inevitable. It can happen with enough skill or luck. But I would just feel for those 2 drivers, it's out of the question for them. And you got to start wondering, do you start talking about the next season? Do you start planning for that, or do you still feel like you have that fight? Pena rolling pretty good here in the lead. Yeah, Caleb, you missed it, dude. He had a really, really bad spin out, and it cost right after the green flag. I'll go back and show it for you. Coming up to the rumble strips here, he just lost it. 1 position, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He went down to 7th off of that one. I mean, he's doing pretty good. He's now back in 4th. He set a fast time. Last time was a 1:15.39. His best time so far is a 1:14.8. He actually beat out Hollinsworth with a 1:14.88. So he is technically the fastest car on track right now, pushing Hollinsworth down to the 2nd fastest. So, I mean, it's not out of the ballpark for the 22 at Davis to still get this win right now. Oh, I know it's there, Jordan. I'm saving that for some fodder when we have like 10 laps to go. Tristan Pena, Steel City's very own. Some call him a young wheelman. Some call him annoying. He is my driver, running that 50 right now, showing why we feel like he is a good driver. Of course, he's young. He still has a lot to learn when it comes down to the cars. Of course, he actually drives late models in real life. So he has skill behind the wheel. But, you know, overall, for a young man at his age, I made myself sound so old the way I said that. A young man at his age, you know, I feel like he has the necessary skill to kind of take an esports racing career pretty far, if not a real one with late models. How are you feeling about that, DJ? You're the only one in here that's done Road to Pro.
I mean, he definitely has a skill for it. I mean, we're seeing it right here on track. It is tough going through the ranks of that, but I don't see why he couldn't do it. He's definitely got the speed. He knows how to handle the cars. So, I mean, it's just a matter of getting in there and, you know, going after it.
Now, of course, you know, when it comes down to that Road to Pro, your licensing does make the difference. Your safety rating does make the difference. You have to be A-Class 2.0 minimum. But, you know, that safety is really what's going to put you in that top 20. And your split is really what makes the difference. Now, of course, not talking about going pro. I mean, he's had a really good season here so far. He's got the first win of the season. He got another one, notably at, believe it was Kansas for his second race won. You know, getting the first win of the season as a rookie driver and then coming back about 5 weeks later and getting another one, it's a pretty good feat, especially when a lot of people didn't know what you would have had in store for your season, not really knowing how you're going to drive or, you know, just who you are in general on the track. I mean, so far, he's doing good. He's put himself on the all-time wins list for the Cup Series. He's put himself on the laps led list. I believe he's in 229 laps led. He's put himself on the pole list with at least one. You know, it's had a good season for a rookie. It's, like a lot of people were saying, the most stacked Naras season for rookies. And it has literally not shown anything other than that. The most stacked season for a Naras rookie to really come out on the track and try to get a win or just even fight for Rookie of the Year. It's been difficult. There's been a lot of rookies that have showed dominance for top 5 runs or even a race win or a pole position. And, you know, some might call it luck. Others call it skill. You can only call it luck if it happens once. If it's a repeat thing where you could put yourself in victory lane multiple times, get more than a pole a season, you know, more than 4 top 5s out of a 36 race season full length, you know, at that point you can officially confirm it is skill.
Almost definitely, and he's showing it here right now. I mean, the consistency. He's got a pretty good gap on second place right now, and he's holding his own. So for him, you know, being a rookie, you know, it's him coming out here showing that not only can he handle these cars and the transition we're making to these cars, it shows that he's, you know, worth being out here, being with these guys, and running for the rookie.
It's pretty good right now on the track. Watching these top 5 race, Mason in 3rd right now. We'll actually take a look at the weather, see if it's changed a bit. It's gotten really cloudy. It's almost overcast now. The track's gotten really dark compared to what it is, and you're already seeing it there. It's been kind of cooling off a little bit. 94 degrees on track, temp 73 still in the air, but that cloud coverage is making a difference for these guys with their tires, as we're about at the halfway mark of the race now. So that's going to make a huge difference now when it comes down to the rest of this race. Of course, you know, started about, what, 109? on track. So I would say a pretty big difference and a really good improvement onto what we started off with. Of course, there's still a lot left to go for a lot of these drivers, so it's going to be pretty difficult. Holy hell, there's a lot of off-track events that we missed while I was looking at results. We had a situation with Kyle Sims. Kyle Sims actually wrecked. Unless he just hit his brakes too hard. We're going to go ahead and see that. Oh, look at that. No, he actually spun out. Ooh, he hit his brakes real hard in front of the 00. 00 didn't expect him to slow down. A little bit of contact spun him around. Mark Randall, not too long after that, went off track. Didn't even look like he turned. That's how bad these tires are most likely getting. He came back up on track. Lax went off track as well, but it was probably just a little bit of a rumble strip action. Oh no, he overshot the exit there. Almost broke loose. Tristan as well behind him went off track. Another off track for Mark Randall.
It also looks like around lap 49 and lap 50, it looked like Mark Randall entered the pits. I'm wondering if he had some issues with going off the track there. Might have had to make a pit stop and change some tires.
Well, I mean, you see there about the exit of turn 10, he used all of the grass and then some to not put that car into the wall. You know, just going through all of these off-track events for Randall, you can tell these tires are bad. He hit the rumble strips there, slammed the tire barrier, so that's probably why he's in pitch right now. It's a lot of damage to that left driver's side. Doesn't look too bad, but it probably knocked a toe out. Unfortunate situation. Now he's going to have to either try to make up a lot and be able to finish still in a good position, which would be 8th. He's already 4 minutes, there's a 4-minute 50-second gap. He's already been in pitch for about 4 minutes, so I mean, it's good to see that he's not retired, but he's almost done. 88 of Mason just spins around there right in front of Davis. What's up, Johnny?
Mark Randall's still in the pits.
Yeah, he said in chat 5 minutes.
Wow.
And it didn't even look that bad. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying with these next-gen cars. The damage is fast. You hit a wall and you don't think it's going to be that bad of a hit, and you are literally sitting there for 6 minutes just for a toe link. No, not even aero damage.
Yeah, these cars are very fragile. I mean, you really want to take care of them, because you hit something just once. I mean, it's going to affect you and put some time on that clock for damage repairs.
Now, of course, with him being in that time too, he'd probably take some. Probably taking some tires, I would imagine, for the last half of the stint here for stage 3.
Yeah, he's leaving pit lane as we speak, so.
I mean, he will come out 5 laps down, so that's going to hurt.
The leader is. Yeah, let's see here. He did just go another lap down with Owen Lax on his tail here.
Yeah, Pena's roughly a few seconds on track, probably about 7 seconds on track in front of him. And then you still have a pretty big gap from Lax to Pena. Another 7 seconds on track, so your top 3 spread out pretty far right now. Second and third is spread by about a second to 2 seconds, depending on the corner. 8.5 second plus gap from third to first, and then Mason in 4th place, 19 seconds back from your leader. But I mean, he is closer to Davis in 3rd by roughly about 10 seconds. So I feel like what we're seeing right now is going to be pretty spread out until we see these pit cycles, depending on who goes in for gas, or if anybody goes in for gas. That'll really be the thing. I don't think it's going to be the gas, though. I think it's going to be tires. They're about halfway on a tank of gas right now. Tristan's reading about half as well. Owen's reading half. Davis is reading half. Mason's reading just a little bit over. Hollinsworth top 5. He's reading about half. So it's not even going to be a gas run here. It's going to be a direct tire run. We're watching Davis right now. He's caught so much time up to Lax. They were separated by about a second. He is now on the rear bumper, putting the pressure on Lax, making a mirror drive. Not a good corner for Lax. Davis trying to angle up for the inside of the S's. Not going to be able to get it that time. Probably get him in the horseshoe like he did last time. Drive it in a little bit deeper, get that inside line, and take it through the corner through turn 11 and hit turn 1 in second place. We're going to see if he does it now. Angling to the inside, and does. Overdrives it to get the inside. Manages to do it. That's showing that Lax doesn't have the tires to contest it with 14 laps to go.
Yeah, clean pass there by Davis. He made it look really easy getting around him, but it looked like Owen also maybe not having the tires gave him plenty of room, knowing that he was the faster car.
Now here's the thing for these top 3 drivers, or even the top 5, let's say. You know we got 14 laps to go. Only 8 cars left on the track, 7 of them on lead lap. Sim's about to go a lap down at some point in time here if he has to go into pits anytime soon. Do you risk it and stay out, or do you go in and take the tires? I mean, if you stay out, you're going to put another 14-second gap onto a car. Yes, you're going to have worse tires, but if they have a bad pit stop or get caught speeding in pits, that's automatically going to give them a 40-second hold. So they're going to go a lap down.
Nope. I mean, too, like, you know, if that does happen, you know, being Kyle Sims, if he doesn't pit, he could potentially get a strong lead here if something happens on pit road. I mean, he is going to be a lot slower, but he might just kind of keep distance from the ones that did pit. So, I mean, it's a bit of a gamble staying out.
I mean, tires are going to be the biggest thing here if they do stay out. I mean, Pena's still in the lead, 8 seconds back from Davis. He is going to... Sims is really close to getting a lap down. He is now just passing the drag strip in the center of the track, starting his S's to hit that horseshoe right there as he passes pit entrance. Davis is in... not Davis. Sims is in pits. So Sims is going to go a lap down. Pena will pass him here when he hits turn 11. That is officially now putting Sims a lap down as he is in pits. And there goes Pena. So now only 6 cars on lead lap. Davis, really good run over Lax right now. Separated by almost a second. Definitely can tell Lax's tires taking a beating here. All right, fights going. Fights are looking pretty good here right now. 10 to go. Pena looking to get a win tonight. Did not expect that in any which way possible, the way it was looking for the top 5 when we first started this race 60 laps ago. At this point in time right now, we can officially say, unofficially, Corey Rainey, without a singular win on the season at week 16, unofficially, is locked into the 2026 playoff just based off of his points.
It's pretty impressive, you know, keeping his consistency with what he's been doing on the track, him being able to lock himself in. It's got to feel good with not having a win.
You know, at this point in time last year, he had only 1 win under his belt. He got it like 4 weeks in. He kind of had a cold spell all the way until Martinsville, where he knocked out Mark Morton. The elimination race, round of 8, which gave him the title Mr. Must Win, took that momentum on to the Final Four race at Homestead. Had a lot of difficulties, had damage, thought he was out for the night, having to battle lapped cars, having to battle the other 3 drivers, that being Isaiah Fox, Lucas Lewis, and Jordan. And at the end, coming away with a crazy victory after Isaiah Fox and Lucas had some contact, which pushed both of them into a wreck and pulled them to the back of the field with some damage they still had repaired. So, you know, good for him, showing consistency and strength off of numbers and finishing positions to be able to, at this point, unofficially kind of pull himself into the playoffs. Good God, if you saw, I don't know if you saw that, Davis's rotor was red hot there going into the corner.
No, I did not see that. I was watching Tristan Pena, and he is sliding this car around the S's right now. I saw his back end just completely come out. I'm surprised he didn't go around, as we also have Mark Randall retiring from the race.
And if you look at some of these front tires, I saw someone say it in chat earlier, but I didn't catch it. They were not kidding. If this was a race under the lights, these rotors are glowing bad in the daylight. It would literally look like the All-Star race where they had underglows.
Oh, absolutely. Which was a pretty cool sight to see. But with these rotors, you got plenty of underglows, especially if you get them hot enough.
See, and that's also another problem we've seen with some of these new rotors on the actual Cup cars. They're not able to withstand some of this. So you also have to wonder if this is what's also happening with, you know, kind of getting them loose. These rotors are right there. You can see it. Pena going into that hairpin right through the S's. We'll be able to see it with Davis as well. Burn in that front rear of that front rotor. Will Lax do it too? Little bit, not too bad. Not as bad as Davis. But you know, it might be another thing where these brakes, excuse me, I have the hiccups. These front brakes are just a little bit too hot. They're not cooling down in time before they have to turn the next corner. I mean, Pena is blowing them very fast.
Yeah, he is. You could tell by when he got on the brakes there, it was pretty slippery getting on them brakes going into that final corner.
Davis as well. Lax not as bad as the rest of them. I think Lax finally caught on that the rotors are heating up way too quick and it's causing that rear end to break loose. Obviously, more brakes in the front than the rear probably could have messed with the car a little bit for the rear brake bias to kind of even it out, but could have also made more of a lockup, and that's going to cause you to spin a lot more. Right now, Pena using all of the accesses possible with 8 laps to go. He's 9.2 seconds in front of Davis.
Pretty comfortable lead for Pena here. He's just got to roll these corners right and not overdo it, and he looking like he's going to have this thing in the bag as long as he doesn't have any mistakes.
All right. Sorry, I had to take the headset off and put the pit headset on for a second.
Yeah. Okay. It's all good.
Little words of encouragement. He's actually listening. He changed up his horseshoe there a little bit. You see him staying away from the rumble strips. Well, that was also the thing that was hurting him earlier in stage 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
He was hitting that rumble strip, and it was spinning him out pretty quick. And I mean, Davis right now 9.4 back. Pena can still be aggressive. He's just got to be careful in the corners.
I seen him right here coming out of that first corner. He took it pretty easy coming out of there. You could hear how low the power was on the car, so that way he could comfortably get through that corner without worrying about spinning.
Yeah. And this is also going to be another corner right there, that right-hand turn where you got to run off into the Toyota access. It's a pretty difficult area for him to, have to manage. But you need to use that excess if you need, as much as possible to honestly still be able to hold your car, get that consistent run, and do what you got to do. Now, he does have to pick it up a little bit because Davis is losing time. He is now 8.9. He was almost an entire second difference. So Pena needs to run comfortable, but he still needs to be a little bit aggressive here with 6 laps to go.
And with these older tires, these guys are trying to be extra careful going through these corners because, especially with hitting those rumble strips, entering that corner wrong or getting on the gas wrong coming out of that corner could be really, dangerous for you, especially with Pena out in the lead here. You don't want to hit that wrong and end up spinning out and giving up all that time you have put on second place of Davis.
Right. I mean, 5 laps to go. He's back up to the 9-second difference to Joseph Davis in second. I mean, he's doing pretty good right now. Davis really having to wheel man these corners right now with whatever tires he has left. Now back up to 9.2, so they're kind of going back and forth on times right now. It could still be anybody's race. There's 5 left to go. Anything could happen. You could have a track block, which is going to cause a caution. Everybody's going to go into pits, get tires, be fresh, come back out. Owen somehow might find flash speed and just
which we have seen.
To Davis. Catch up to Davis with 5 laps to go. A rumble strip can really be it. I mean, at this point in time, you can't hit the rumble strips at full speed. You got to really check up and use them if you're gonna.
Yep. Pena looking pretty consistent right now. He's hitting his marks. He's letting it roll over those rumble strips without getting on the gas too early. He's looking pretty clean right now. As long as he can maintain this, and not worry too much about the car behind him, Davis, then, he can pull this thing out pretty easily right now.
And I mean, that's kind of anybody in the lead at this point in time, whether it's an official race, a hosted race, a league race, there comes a time when you're at 10 to go and you don't have that second position car around you. You just got to not pay attention to your mirrors. Don't pay attention to your black box for your standings. Don't ask if you have a spot or what position's going on. You're taking too much of your mind off of what you need to be doing, and you just need to just drive your car within the limits. Of course, you're going to be able to know what that car is going to be able to do. You're the one handling it. You'll feel it. And I mean, I think that's what we're seeing a lot of from Tristan and Davis. Davis knows Owen is way behind him. Owen is 9.7 seconds behind Davis. Davis has no worries about mirror driving right now. Tristan has no worries about mirror driving with a 9-second lead. It's really just about who can be consistent for the next 5 minutes for 3 laps. Yep. After a really good race here at a road course. We've had, like I said, a few wreck outs. Everybody up to 7th place is now out of the race. Kyle Sims has officially retired the car. So only 6 drivers left, all on lead lap. But it's the top 3 right now who's really got a lot to show for it.
Yeah, back to what you're saying about focusing here. If I'm in this car with Tristan where he is right now, and I have this comfortable lead, I am cranking down my spotter. I am not listening to anything on the track. I am totally focusing on what my car is doing and trying to minimize any mistakes that could possibly happen. You do not want to give up this comfortable lead you have this late in the race. As we're at the line for 2 to go.
On board with Pena right now. At the roll bar cam, you could hear those tires really screeching. They're worn. I mean, 33 lap old tires, including the pace laps as well, to get back to green. You know, what we're hearing is a lot of roll off, like you were saying. Not really hitting that throttle until that car is back stable and you've got the turn. A little bit of a slide out there. Also think it's due to the fact of, you know, worn tires at this point in time. It's going to slow you down a lot. I mean, Davis now 8.7 difference, but we've seen this before multiple times through the last 10 laps. Davis will get down to that 8.7, now down to 8.5, and Pena will hit a really good corner here and put some time back.
Oh, locks him up a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of smoke out of that rear tire. I think he's also banking on that horseshoe to not be as good for Davis as it is for him. White flags out now. 1 to go. Another minute. And roughly 17 seconds before we can tell you who is officially going to be the first winner of the Gen 7 cars. Pena bouncing a little bit off strips there. Doesn't need to overdrive it. He's got a really good lead. You don't want to squander it now. Even if he coasts these corners, he's not going to catch 8 seconds worth of a lap unless you were stopped on the track. Davis now down to about 8 seconds. Stephen Hollinsworth just in front. Doesn't need to worry about passing him. And I think we're seeing that there. He's checking up a little bit, knowing he's got a big cushion through the S's. 7.4 now down to Davis. Pena on the rumble strips. Hollinsworth lets him go by. And here to the horseshoe where it all matters. Really slow entry. Doesn't want to squander it. Cuts it just a little bit. And now the first person to get the win for this season in the Gen 6 car has just officially got the first win in the Gen 7s for his first road course win here today. The 50 of Tristan Pena has just taken it. Joseph Davis will finish in second. After a hard-fought battle, 6.72 seconds, he made back 3. Owen Lax will finish after a valiant effort in the top 3 spot. Peter Hoppy getting it done as he hits the horseshoe in 11th, hopefully coming out in 4th here. I mean, everybody taking a slow entry to this horseshoe. Tires are beat. Hoppy gets it done, gets to the line for 4th, which means Mason is going to finish in 5th. I could tell you who casted a spell, Caleb. The number on the side of the car. Stephen Hollinsworth. Stephen Hollinsworth, we saw go into the pits before the end of the race. He said, screw it, I'm getting 6th place. I'm done now.
What do you got?
What a great race win here for Tristan Pena, officially making the 4th win overall this season for Steel City Racing, now pushing us up to a 3-way tie for 4th and 5th with Witowski Racing overall and Bull Motorsports. Of course, top 3 driver interviews, as always. Lax first, Davis second, and Pena, if Davis opts in for his interview. We're going to give them a few more seconds to get off the track and out of their cars. And we will be starting top 3, so don't go anywhere. Live coverage of the race has concluded, but post-race has just begun. All right, of course, our first interview of the night is going to be from our top 3 driver. That is going to be the number 40, driving for Bull Motorsports this season, Owen Lax. Oh, so drab, man, every time. Well, it's over. First official race in the Gen 7s have came and went. So now that it's all said and done after, what you said earlier in the night about the racing itself here, you seemed like, like you said, it's a big shock, but you got the final win in the Gen 6, broke the single season record in the Gen 6, and, you said it was going to be difficult, probably a lot difficult to everybody, but, right now the focus was to learn the car and try to get a strong run in the playoffs. Of course, getting another top 3 tonight in uncharted territory for Naras. So how are you feeling about the race here now that it's officially completed with the checkered flag?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of expected Joseph to pull out the win there. Obviously, he had his spin at the start of the 3rd stage and started to work his way back up. I let him go, hoping that maybe he could get to Tristan and get Tristan to make a mistake. And, once he got by me, they kind of held at 9 seconds. I tried to save tire in the final stage, thinking that Tristan would fall off, and I think just running the tires was a better decision from Tristan.
Now, like we were talking before the race even started, we expected no pit stops to really need to happen at all. Of course, started green flag there for stage 3. You saw Davis. We just saw it on the replay. Davis spun out right in front of you. You were able to maintain it. No damage on your side. Of course, that gave you the position. How did you feel, with that stage 3 restart, knowing that Davis was pretty strong earlier on? Did you feel like it was going to be, a pretty hard-fought race to have to catch him, or once you saw him wreck out in front of you, how much did that change for you?
I mean, my main thing was just keeping what I had on Corey, especially with him going out in the 2nd stage. That meant a lot for my point standings. So once Corey went out, I'd love to win the race. I knew I wasn't the fastest guy. I didn't expect to be the fastest guy. And when Joseph had that mistake, I was like, okay, let me just relax, do what I need to do. I absolutely whiffed turn 10, hit the grass, tried to make up for it in the hairpin, and missed the hairpin too, and gave Tristan the lead. And that was, that was kind of the end of it for me. But yeah, I mean, my main thing on the restarts was just trying not to lock up like I did at the start of stage 2. I mean, I literally went straight on and just about killed Joseph in the start of stage 2. So just really was trying not to replicate that on the start. I knew if I held with Joseph, I could have a chance at it, and I did until I made the mistake.
Now, of course, here pack racing wasn't really that much for you guys. Top 3 held on pretty strong for all stages. You were having to fight with them as well throughout the stages. Do you feel like, the hot temps, new car, bigger tires, that made a difference on your ability to kind of push around a car? I mean, we saw you guys have to dive it into the horseshoe a few times, turn 11, to try to get that position back, and then it kind of seemed easier to hold it as there weren't many corners to pass on if they weren't, already on your inside or had that run to do so.
I mean, I never really felt like I had any issues. I never really felt pressed to make the pass. Really, it was just about holding position, trying to be in the guy's mirrors, maybe make him try to make him make a mistake in front of me. You saw me do that with Tristan in the first stage. It just really was just trying to survive the race, I think, was the main thing, because I knew if I got all the laps down, I'd finish in a decent position, hopefully. So, I mean, the not my normal approach, but being in this car where I ran NIS and I got wrecked by a lap car on lap 15, I really was just trying to run all the laps and get a solid finish.
Now, 70 laps here for Sonoma officially done tonight. Moving on to the Napa Auto Parts 300 at Martinsville next week. How are you feeling about taking these cars out to Martinsville for the first time this season?
I mean, if I thought my pinky locking up today was bad, I think the shifting next week is going to be just a little bit harder. But Martinsville's not somewhere that I've had to really have a race at. I had one race there in the Gen 6 where I finished second. NIS, I never really tried to be competitive. I kind of just let everyone make mistakes, trying to hope that everyone got to their incident count. I just, again, the rest of the season is really just learning this car and getting ready for the playoffs. I felt good in the Gen 6. I felt like we had a really good shot in the Gen 6. So just gotta just figure out how to learn this car and drive this car and try to win some races when it matter.
And of course, as always, before we let you go, rewatch your race or get away from the Gen 7 cars for a few hours, go ahead and hit your list of shout-outs.
Obviously, my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, my grandparents, Omo, Body Bag Johnny, and my Uncle Tommy, my girlfriend, Jordan, for dealing with us and running a race control after he got taken out. Peter, for being a good teammate. I mean, he finished right behind me. So we always find each other in the finishing order somehow. Tristan just drove the tires off the thing somehow in the final stage. Joseph was lights out all night. So it just... a lot of people were strong tonight, and I don't think it really surprises anybody.
Well, I know you had fans in chat because I actually saw a message early on, right before we took green flag, from Jerry Lax. So I was actually surprised.
Yeah.
First time I've ever seen him.
Yeah. No, I think he made the comment that I was on vacation at Dover. I think I did see that one.
I didn't see that.
So
I saw, oh boy, here we go.
Well, yeah, that was... I see that now. I'm looking at it as... I mean, it's right. It's pretty accurate.
Of course, man, congrats on the top 3. Seems like you're going to have an average finishing position of top 3 to 2 this season. I mean...
I'd like to make it 1, but, let's be a little realistic.
I mean, I think everybody would feel that way, but can't win them all. But now it's going to be a little difficult for you because now there's a three-way tie, if we want to count JJ Moore, for the most wins this season. So that's going to be interesting to watch for the rest of the season. For the next 2 months we have. You and Tristan duke it out to see who can get the most wins on this season.
Yeah, I mean, looking forward to it. Tristan, whenever he shows up, has been really good. He was good in the Gen 6. I don't know how he runs this car, so it'll be exciting to see how the field changes here in the coming weeks.
Well, of course, man, once again, congrats on that top 3 finish. Looking forward to what we're going to see when the lights turn on next week at Martinsville, and hopefully we're talking to you again.
I'll try.
You have a good one, man.
You too.
That was our top 3 finisher. 3rd place finisher, Owen Lax. Now, moving on to our 2nd place finisher. That being the man himself, the 22 of Joseph Davis, who tried to pull off a lot of time. He got 3 seconds off. But we're going to pull him up here now.
Oh,
Joseph.
good evening.
How you doing?
Well, I'm here. It's about the best that I can describe it as. Yeah.
So, I would say it was a really good race for you. Stage 1, you kind of warmed up those tires, figured out what you needed to do. Stage 2, you came back really strong. Looked like you were gonna get the race sweep there, and kind of faltered a little bit with that start. Turn 1, stage 3, you lost 7 positions, gained back 5 in no time, gained back another 2, and was trying to hunt down Pena for the lead. Took off about 3 seconds before that finish on some pretty burnt out tires. Of course, first Gen 7 run for not only you, but for everybody here. So how do you feel it went now that it's all said and done?
The race was pretty good. The Gen 7 car is notorious for being very hard when it comes to dealing with bumps, which I knew was going to be a problem coming in, especially going over some of the curbs. But as a whole, I mean, I wouldn't say it's cookie cutter, but everybody at this point knows how the Gen 7 car drives, so it's not really too much of a surprise. I think the race went really well altogether. I had a little bit of a problem lap 1 at the very start and got all the way back up to Owen, I think for like lap 10 or something like that. And I basically just followed him around. I was like, there's no reason for me to make a move on stage 1. It's not going to do anything. And Owen finally left the door open with about 2 to go. And I'm like, I'm just going to take it. I might as well. And then, yeah, stage 2 was pretty much just run away from Steven stage. Just kept building a gap to him throughout the entire stage. And then stage 3, yeah, it's just... I don't like to make excuses. It was my own mistake. I got a spotter call saying that we were 3 going into turn 3, and I got the call that somebody was still on my outside by the time I hit the braking zone, which was not the case when I went back and looked at it. And I just lost it on the exit of 3A or 3, and tried to make up as much ground as I could. Thought that I could get there after what I did in stage 1. But I just got stuck behind Owen and Josh, and kind of just couldn't get past him. And it was at that point there was 10 seconds or so, and I was on pretty worn out tires. There's nothing I could really do except just basically manage to the end of the race. I think that's one of the worst things about that is the fact that I ended up in basically no man's land for the last like 20 laps, because there was about a 9-second lead to Tristan in first, and then Owen was about 9 seconds back. So there's nobody to race, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well, all I can do is sit here and push and just watch the distance go absolutely nowhere. So it's kind of just one of those things, it's how road courses go. And it just sucks we couldn't get the win tonight with the amount of speed we had.
Now, first race out, not really knowing how everybody else was going to be able to handle the car or kind of what their approach was going to be tonight. How early on did you know what strategy you needed to take? I mean, you were setting pretty fast laps in practice, and seemed like early on you were going to be the car to have to beat.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to make a strategy for a road course race in general, especially for one that is short like this or shorter than a full length race and one that has stages. Um, it kind of just depends on how the first set of laps go, because if all calamity goes, or if it goes absolute chaos for the first set of corners, then you have to kind of adjust to that, as I had to do in stage one. You go wide and get up in the grass up there, or what passes for grass in Sonoma, um, and have to basically had to make my way back up the field. And it's just one of those things. The biggest strategy is just minimize mistakes on road courses and stay consistent. Um, that changes from car to car. Some cars do things better than others, and so on and so forth. So the strategy is really just keep it clean, don't do anything stupid, and make sure you get to the finish.
Now, of course, part time, if I'm not mistaken, so not really
Mhm.
going for anything here when it comes down to points or playoffs or so be it. Are you having, that plan to return part time for next season, or will we possibly see a full time start for you?
And next season, I plan to go full time. With the changes coming to the league itself. Um, Mainly, there's multiple different factors as to why. Mainly just me moving is going to be one big thing, and I'll have more time on Saturday evenings. And the other one is when I registered for the league right before the Atlanta race, there was not a full-time seat available. And if there was like one or two. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't know how well I'm going to do. I don't know if I'll be able to make every single, or even, like every 2 weeks. So I thought it would be best to, give the ride to somebody who could actually be here week in, week out and compete for that kind of thing. Um, at this point in time, I do kind of regret not making that decision, because obviously I would be in the playoffs right now and um going through. But yeah, I'll be making a full-time start or full-time season next year, and under a new number. I will be changing numbers from the 22, and hopefully we get some better results and get some more wins. I mean, this should have been 3 in a season tonight with still 9 races to the chase. So we'll see how many I can get when a full season will be under my belt.
Now, of course, as well here, not obligated to show up to every start, but the biggest question is when will we see you back on the track again?
Well, I can assure you it won't be next week, because I despise Martinsville on iRacing. Um, and it's not a problem with a league or with Martinsville itself. It's kind of just Martinsville on iRacing, especially with the netcode kind of problems. Even in the next gen, where you really don't have netcode problems, it's just one of those things. Martinsville just doesn't feel right to me in iRacing, and I personally just don't want to fight it. As much as bad as that sounds. Um, so I believe the next race. I mean, I have to go look at the schedule. Um, but yeah, Martinsville obviously we won't be at, just due to Martinsville in general. I will still be making some starts. I'm hoping there's something in the rule book that states that part-time drivers can't race in the chase
Yeah.
or the playoffs. And I'm going to try to talk to Jordan about it and see, because I would still like to run, like Bristol, especially, and Chicagoland probably as well. Bristol to defend the win from earlier this year, and Chicagoland just because Chicagoland is just amazing as a whole. Everybody wants to be at Chicagoland. But for the next race that I believe I'll be at will be at Kentucky, which is a track that I do love very much, racing wise, especially in the Gen 7 car. So we will see how that goes.
Well, of course, man, before we let you go, we're always going to ask if you have any shout outs you want to give to anybody.
Yeah, special shout out to Jordan for the league itself, and also for doing race control for the remainder of this race tonight. Although race control wasn't exactly needed, other than the stages, which is a good thing. You always like to see a small amount of incidents. But yeah, big thanks to him, and big thanks to yourself and DJ up here for sticking around for quite possibly one of the most boring races of the season. Just the nature of road courses. So big thanks to you two for, kind of hashing it out and sticking around for us.
I would say, from my perspective, this was actually a pretty good race. The top three made it interesting the entire race. And
I'll take your word for it. I tried to make it as interesting as possible.
And I agree. I had a lot of fun being up here in the booth, sitting here from a different perspective than behind the wheel from when I started this race, and seeing you guys hash it out and show your skill out here on the track. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I laughed when we were in practice. I think it was Tristan had asked me, he's like, where are you finding this speed? And I told him, I was like, yeah, all of my testing before this race was done in the Gen 4 car. So,
oh, God.
This is not exactly a challenge in comparison to that. And I was hitting high 116s in the Gen 4 car. And everybody just kind of looked at me. They're like, oh, I don't know about that. I was just like, well, the biggest thing that I could say it helps with is learning how to tire save, even though the tires are completely different. Having that much power underneath you and not sliding through some of the high parts like turn 2, turn 3A, some of those things is very, very helpful to have under your belt, kind of as a toolkit there. But yeah, everybody's just kind of blown away. They're like, "Why do you hate yourself that much?" So I'm like, "I just enjoyed driving the Gen 4 car. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's like I've driven laps in the Gen 4 car around the Nürburgring Nordschleife. I just get bored and I just pick a track. I'm like, okay, here we go. We're gonna do this tonight or something. I don't know. So here we are.
Well, I can tell you one thing's for sure, two things for certain. You didn't have to keep that a secret, because I promise you no one's replicating that. So
Oh, absolutely not. And I'll even go one farther and tell them to go do the legacy Gen 4 car and see if they can handle that one. Because if the 2003 Gen 4 is a handful, the basically high horsepower 09 nationwide car is even more of a handful. It's borderline a disaster. It's about the best way I could put that.
Well, of course, man. Congrats on that top 3 finishing in second after getting that stage win. It was a pretty good battle there to watch from you. I thought you were going to be able to come back and beat my driver, but just tires were not on anybody's side tonight.
Yeah, the biggest thing was, I mean, the tire wear itself, but the track changing so much. Overcast came about the middle of stage 2, a little bit earlier, and I was just watching the temperature, and it just dropped from like 104 to like 94 by the end of the race. I'm like, oh, okay, this is how we're gonna play this today. I don't think anybody was really prepared for it at all, and it kind of played out to, I guess, Tristan's advantage with just being able to escape the chaos was basically what he did tonight.
Well, brother, definitely look forward to seeing what you're going to be able to do when we hit Kentucky in 2 weeks. It's going to be a late afternoon race, so it'll probably finish under the lights. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you again, and possibly as a winner. If not, maybe as a top 3 driver.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going for the win at Kentucky. That's for sure. You can count on that one.
All right, brother. Well, of course, once again, appreciate you jumping up here and talking to us for a little bit, and congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you, and thank you all for doing this.
Yeah, thank you. Then was our second place finisher, part-time driver, the 22, Joseph Davis. Really hard fought battle from him tonight. Unfortunate, that first lap in stage 3 kind of got him a little bit loose from the wrong call out from a spotter. Otherwise, this could have been a huge, huge difference on a finishing position tonight. Would have been possibly a flip between him and the 50 of Tristan Pena, who is our last interview of the night. I'm going to go ahead and get him in here. The man, the myth, the legend, Rookie of the Year contender right now, 3-time winner on the Cup Series right now, number 50 from Steel City Racing, Tristan Pena.
How you doing, Tyler?
The question is, how are you doing?
Good. I'm tired. This race has definitely gone a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be. There was a lot of laps, and it definitely took a lot of concentration to not spin out every lap. Considering I almost burned the rear tires off the car.
How bad were your tires when you put that into pit lane?
Well, they were 0 because I blew them up.
Well, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, never mind. You burnt out.
Yeah.
Inaccurate readings.
But the
Inaccurate
fronts were
readings.
like at 40s, or in like the 40s. But I'm pretty sure because I got a tire wear warning like on this with like 2 laps to go, so they were pretty low.
I mean, still crazy race, man. Now, starting this race off, you started in 5th. Didn't seem to have the most speed coming into this race, but of course, it's not about the fastest times all the time. It's about your consistency, and I would say you held pretty well when it comes down to consistency here tonight. What was kind of your strategy coming into this, and how early did you feel like you had an opportunity to go get a win?
I feel like I could have whenever that first stage, whenever Josh or not Josh, Joseph, when he went off track in like the first corner and I was able to lead a couple laps, I felt like I had the speed to stay in front of Owen, so I feel like I could have at least gotten a second. But once I was able to get in front of everyone in the start, like the final stage, it definitely just became a go and run away. Try to put as much distance as I could on the whole field, and thankfully, he, excuse me, um, thankfully Joseph burnt his tires up trying to get around those 2. So he didn't have enough to catch me, as I had put a pretty substantial margin up on the field up until that point. So I mean, it was just basically go and run away.
I mean, runaway you did now. It was I would say pretty challenging early on, starting in 5th place, having to work through some of that traffic early on. Teammate Morton didn't have the best of nights. Out pretty early, you in the racetrack and spotter in your ear until I came and gave you your update with about 10 to go. Stage 3, the biggest thing about it was the tire wear after 34 laps. I mean, we were seeing it in stage 2. We had a call out in chat. I didn't even realize it. You guys were burning rotors in the fronts about through the entirety of the race, and they burnt up and got red hot a lot faster the more laps y'all put on at stage 3. Were you feeling burn in the front, and did you kind of feel it when you were braking and trying to hit your turns, or did you not realize how bad it was?
Yeah, I definitely felt it, especially with around 5 to go. That's when the front tires obviously were wearing a ton, and I started to feel the left front tire. It definitely had a lot less grip than the right front. So in those left-handers, I was really struggling, and just on the brakes, I was locking the left front up. So I mean, I was definitely feeling it towards the last like 10 laps. But I mean, besides that, I mean, it really wasn't too bad. I just was so focused on hitting my marks and just keeping the gap, um, just like consistently, just at least trying not to lose time. I really didn't feel too much about brakes and all that.
Now, you've had a really good season here so far for your rookie year. Came out, got the first official win points race wise for the Gen 6 cars at Daytona. Now, officially, the first win in the Gen 7 cars. You are officially tied with Owen for the most wins this season at 3. If you want to count JJ, then it's a three-way tie. We still have about 9 races left to go. Obviously, locked into playoffs. You know, looking up and up for you here. Now, we know you do run the late models, so you're not slotted to be here every week. Here as much as you possibly can be. Will you be with us next week at Martinsville?
Yes, I do plan here to be next week at Martinsville. Uh, a big fan of that track. Not so much in the Gen 7 cars. It's pretty difficult to get that car around there because of just the brakes and how easy it is to lock up. But I know I'll figure it out. I mean, I usually do, but um, we'll see. And I'm super excited for next week. Yeah.
No, I mean, sitting pretty good so far with your wins this season on points. I believe you are within the top 10. Yeah, sitting at the 10th place. 184 points back, if that is accurate at this point in time. 472 points in general. Only 7 starts. The lowest amount of starts within the top 10. And you're sitting pretty good. You're the lowest amount of starts within the locked-in playoff drivers. So, now that you're seated pretty comfortably within the playoffs, been seated pretty comfortably since Daytona, of course, bonus points adding on, stage points adding on. How are you feeling about your run in the round of 16 when we hit Chicagoland, Indy Road Course, and the elimination race at Bristol?
I feel really good about those tracks. I've driven them. I've driven all those tracks before in the Gen 7 car. Um, I'm not a big fan of a Gen 7 car, but I mean, I usually do pretty decent in it. But I'm I feel that my chances of winning a championship are pretty high, considering just the uh just the overall just how many tracks there are and how much variation and parity there is in the races. So I mean, it seems like anyone can win, especially with these cars. These cars are really close. Um, So I'm excited, but also kind of worried because I'm never really good in the Gen 7 cars, but we'll see. And hopefully we can get some more wins before the playoffs end, and hopefully in the playoffs.
Well, of course, man. You know, great to see you be able to kind of put people on notice and show them why this rookie class has been hailed as probably the most dominant rookie class in Naras history here. With that being said, looking at Martinsville, it's going to be the night race next week. 9 more weeks to go. A lot on the line after we finish up at Nashville. You're pretty confident going into the round of 16. I mean, is there anything else you wish that you can accomplish this season, or do you feel like you've kind of done enough other than, a possible Final Four championship run?
There's always more work to do in any racing, even when you win the championship. So as the late great Kobe Bryant said, job's not finished. And we're just gonna keep working and hopefully get to the round of four and hopefully go get ourselves a championship. But that's the ultimate goal for this year. But we'll see how it turns out. Obviously, anything can happen.
Of course, man, before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your night and get out of your race seat and unglue your eyes from the tunnel vision of 70 laps, do you have any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
My mom and dad, for letting me do this.
It's always short, sweet, and to the point. And at least it's not a school. Make it quick. Well, of course, man, congrats on the third win of the season. Love to see you guys in victory lane. We don't get to see it often. We have a pretty long break since our last win that was coming back from you at Kansas. So it's good to see it happen again. About what, 2 months later, 2.5 months?
I know it's been a while, so
Yeah,
I'm excited to get back in victory lane, and I'm super thankful.
April 18th, almost 3 months to the day. So,
That's crazy.
of course, man, congrats on the race win tonight. Look forward to seeing how Gen 7s are going to treat you at the night race under the lights, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, congrats, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Tyler. Thank you
Yeah,
for
of
putting
course.
this on.
That was, I think, our youngest driver on the roster, other than, well, maybe not. We got Charlie Bennett, we got Isaiah Fox, so he's one of the youngest drivers on the roster. Your winner of tonight's race, and I would say the man carrying the team on his back right now, the 50 of Tristan Pena. Crazy, crazy race win. I mean, if Davis didn't spin out and take that long to recover, I don't feel like there would have been that much of a time difference between both of them.
Yeah, I don't either. They were both running a really great race. It took a really big mistake for them to get close to each other. So I mean, it was on both their parts. They ran a tremendous race, and it was really fun to watch.
Honestly, this was one of the best road courses I've actually watched. And you know, they say Sonoma, it's a big track. There's not gonna be so much going on. But we had so many different fights on the track tonight. Not just the leaders. Even, when we had all cars on the track, you had three people fighting for 10th place. You had two people fighting for fifth, three people fighting for the lead, all within 3 seconds of each. Well, 2/10 of a second to a second and a half. I mean, I would say that even though we had a lot of off tracks, which are expected at a road course, not many wrecks, for contact, shall I say. There was a lot of solo spins, just getting on the throttle a little bit too early, overjudging corners, but I mean, all in all, I would say this is a really successful race and a great broadcast uh, for the first Gen 7 race here in Naras.
Yeah, absolutely. See these guys jump from an entire different car over to the Gen 7s. They did a really good job tonight. I was very impressed with how they went about themselves, especially being on a road course. There was a lot of really good racing going on, some good battles, and it was nice to see how these guys could adapt to the change coming to these cars.
Now, the biggest question is going to be how are they going to adapt next week? Napa Auto Parts 300 at Martinsville. 50 laps, 3 stages, all 50 apiece. That is going to be a race. Finished under the lights.
I really think we're going to be seeing a lot of bumping and a lot of glowing rotors. So we're definitely going to see some action tomorrow or next week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, this will also be a test and possibly a testament to a lot of these drivers, because last time we went to Martinsville at this point in time in the season, I think we had the record high cautions for Naras.
Yeah.
I think we had like 15 to 16 cautions, and then it also put in question if this race would be back in the playoffs. So there's a lot of weeks in between the next two Martinsville races, of course, next week, and then we won't see it back until October 31st. So
Yep.
Hopefully, everything will go smooth next week for Martinsville. We won't have any questions about it, but you never know. It is a paperclip
That's
after
right.
all, and it is risky.
It's really fast straights and hard braking, and there's a good chance we're going to see some guys getting pretty upset with each other trying to slide these things in. So I will not be on the track next week. If you want me back in the booth, I enjoyed myself tonight, so I don't mind watching.
I mean, if you're wanting to be here, you're more than welcome to be here. I can tell you, I've watched friendships end at Martinsville, especially last
Oh yeah.
season. So
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting to see what happens
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah, I ran Martinsville the last time we were around, and I didn't make it all the way through the race, and I was not too happy with a few of them, but it is what it is.
Well, of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a night for the books. I can tell you that for sure. It's been an incredible race, an incredible showing from a lot of these drivers. I feel like a lot of them were expected. Some probably surprised you with their showing tonight, but one hell of a race to start off our journey in the Gen 7s as we had bid adieu to the Gen 6 cars 2 weeks ago. Of course, like I said, Pena being the first one to take the win in 6 cars at Daytona and is officially the first one to burn it down in the Gen 7 cars as well. Make sure to check us out next week because we're still in the off season for a few leagues. So you're not going to catch me live on Monday right now. You're not going to catch us live on Wednesdays. You're not going to catch us live on Thursdays. So Fridays is going to be your go-to. Next week, Fisher Studios Truck Series as we take on Michigan. 120 laps, noon race. It's going to be a good one. And then catch us back here on Saturday as we take on the trickiest intermediate or short track, whatever you want to call it, that there is in the existence to put on the schedule. And it is going to test a lot of patience. Of course, that being Martinsville. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves tonight and enjoyed the show that these drivers put on for you. It's been one hell of a rodeo the last 2 weeks trying to get all of this figured out and set in stone and in place. And I feel like the execution tonight from a lot of the drivers was a lot better than was expected. So, of course, we hope you enjoyed everything. DJ, appreciate you joining us up here in the booth, brother. Getting to see the other side of things.
I appreciate you having me. I had a lot of fun, man.
It's enjoyable when you get here until you do it 5 nights a week.
That's right. I get that, and I don't mind coming and doing them on these Saturdays when I'm, not working myself. And it's a whole different perspective than being inside that race car. So I really had a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. And of course, on behalf of the Naras Cup Series and the Asphalt Racing Network, we would like to thank you, the fans, whether you watched it live or you watched it as a replay, for letting these drivers do what they do best and supporting and rooting them along the entire way. It is a long journey around the track, but of course we're going to leave you with the white flag lap like we always do, where Tristan Pena has officially taken his 3rd overall win this season. We hope to see you again. If we don't see you next time, we hope to see you soon. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.